promise I am not your enemy. I just need another memory. That's all I want. 'Cause all I want is you. Is you. It takes two. 'Cause all I want is you. Is you. It takes two. All I want is you. Is you. It takes two.
Hey guys, I just wanted to pop on here real fast and announce that I am officially taking custom orders on my website. So if you guys would like to order a goodie handmade by me, I'll leave a link for that down below, and of course I'll be adding new things in the future, so stay tuned. Hey guys, and welcome back to another tutorial. This week's video is going to be an update on an old tutorial that I posted months back, and that's going to be this very easy and quick bandana. And it's so quick and simple to make that I've whipped up two in a matter of a couple hours. So let's get started on the next one. The materials that I'll be using for this tutorial are some worsted weight yarn, and this is Lion Brand's Pound of Love, and my 5.5mm crochet hook. To get started on the first row of this project, I need to create a magic loop. So I've created an X here with my yarn. I'm going to insert my hook and pull up my long tail. And from this point, I'm going to chain 3. So here's 1, 2, and 3. And this chain 3 is going to count as our first double crochet. After my chain 3, I want to add 2 more double crochets into my circle. So I'm going to yarn over and insert my hook, draw up a loop, and with 3 on my hook, I'm going to yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and with 2 loops on my hook, yarn over and pull through the last 2. And that's a double crochet. We're going to add 1 more double crochet right here back into the center. So I'm going to yarn over again and insert my hook and draw up that loop. With 3 on the hook, yarn over and pull through 2. And with these last 2 on the hook, yarn over and pull through both. So now we have a little cluster of 3 double crochet right here into the center. After our 3 double crochet, I'm going to chain 3. So I'm going to have 1, 2, and 3. And after my chain 3, I'm going to go right back into my center and add 3 more double crochet. So I'm going to yarn over and insert my hook back into that center and pull up a loop. Now that I have 3 on my hook, I'm going to yarn over and pull through 2. There's 1, 2, yarn over again and pull through both. So that's a double crochet right there. And now I need to add 2 more double crochet to complete this row. So yarn over again, insert my hook and pull up. With these 3 on the hook right here, I'm going to yarn over again and pull through just 2. And with 2 on the hook again, yarn over and pull through both. And there's my second double crochet. I'm going to add 1 more into the center, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And that is our very first row. So now we've already completed our very first row, and I can pull on my short tail to close up that center. So just to show you guys what we've done so far, with my first chain 3, I've added 2 more double crochet to create 3 double crochet. After this little cluster, I've chained 3 to create a gap, and working right back into that center, I've added 3 more double crochet. To start my second row, I'm going to chain 3, 2, and 3. And now I can turn my work and begin working on my next row. So like I told you at the very first row, your first chain 3 is always going to count as a double crochet. So after this first chain 3, I want to add 2 more double crochet right here into this very first stitch in the row. So I'm going to yarn over and add my second double crochet right here into this very first stitch in the row. So I'm going to insert into that stitch and pull up a loop and make my first double crochet, and adding my third double crochet right back into that first stitch in the row. So into that loop, pull up, finishing my double crochet. After my 3 double crochet, I'm going to chain 1. So after my chain 1, my next 3 stitches are going to be worked right here into my center. So I'm going to yarn over and add 3 double crochets into this gap. So here's my first, yarning over, going right back into this gap here for my second, yarning over and adding my last double crochet into the center. After my 3 here into my center, I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and working right back into this gap one more time, I'm going to add 3 more double crochet. So here's my first, right back into the center for a second, and right back for a third. So by adding 3 double crochets, a chain 3, and 3 more double crochets, I've created a new point here in the second row. And after my 3 double crochet, I'm going to chain 1, and now I'm going to place 3 more double crochet into the very last stitch in the row. So I'm going to insert my hook into that space and place my 3 double crochet. So there's my first, right back here into this gap for the second, and into that same stitch again for my third. So now we have 2 rows completed. To start my third row, I'm going to begin by chaining 3 always. There's my 3, and I'm going to turn my work. And just as before, I'm going to place 2 more double crochets right here into this very first stitch. Here's 1, back into that gap for number 2. And like I said before, including that first chain 3, I have 3 double crochets here into that first stitch. After my 3 double crochet, I'm going to chain 1 to create a gap. And now I'm going to be placing my next 3 double crochet right here into this open gap. So if you're looking at what we have so far, all of my 3 double crochets are going to be placed into these very obvious and open gaps. And just remember that these gaps are created by chaining 1 in between our 3 double crochet. So to pick up where we've left off, I've already chained 1, and I'm going to be placing 3 double crochet right here into this open space. So into that gap for 1, right back again for 2, and adding our last double crochet into that space. After our 3, we can chain 1. And now I'm going to be working on my corner again. So remember that my corners are made by placing 3 double crochet, chain 3, and 3 more double crochet all into this very same stitch. So after that chain 1, I'm going to place 3 double crochet into the tip. So there's the first, going into that gap for a second, and you guessed it again for a third, no surprises here. After those 3, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and place 3 more double crochet into the very same stitch. So here's 1, 2, and that's my 3rd. And now I have a new corner again for my 3rd row. After my 3, chain 1 and place 3 double crochet into this next available open gap. So here we go for 1, 2, and 3. From here I can chain 1 again. And to finish up this row, I'll be placing my last 3 double crochet into this very last open gap here in the row. So going into my very last stitch in the row and placing my 3 double crochet. And now I've finished my 3rd row. To start my 4th row, I'm going to begin by chaining 3 again and turning my work. And since this first chain 3 counts as a double crochet, I'm going to place 2 more double crochet into this very first stitch here. So here's my first stitch in the row. Right next to my chain 3, I'm going to be placing 2 more double crochet. And there's my first 3 in the row. After my 3, chain 1, and now I'm going to place 3 more double crochet into the next gap. So right here, there's 1, 2, and back into that same gap for the 3rd. Chain 1, looking at my work, placing my next 3 double crochet into this next available gap. So yarn over and entering this gap. And remember again that all the gaps are created by chaining 1. And now looking at our work, our next 3 stitches are going to be worked into this corner. So placing 3 double crochet into this corner here. 1, 2, and back into this corner for a 3rd. From here, I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. And finishing this corner with 3 more double crochet. So back into that same stitch. There's 1, 2, and finishing it with a 3rd. And now we have a new corner for our 4th row. Chain 1 and place 3 double crochet into our next chain space. There's 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1 and place 3 more double crochet into the next chain space. And to finish this row, chain 1 again and place your last 3 double crochet into the very last open space. It's 1, 2, and 3. So this is what 4 rows completed of the bandana looks like. And I'll continue to add rows until I have a total of 10 rows, and then I'll come back and show you guys how I add the straps and finish the border to the bandana. So now I'm back and I've finished my 10th row of the bandana, and now I need to start working on my tie straps. So picking up here where I've left off at the end of my 10th row, I'm going to begin by chaining 60. And now that I have my chain of 60 all completed, I'm going to begin working back across the chain by adding slip stitches. So I'm going to be placing one slip stitch into the top of each stitch in my chain. And I'm just going to continue to add slip stitches all the way down my chain until I reach the corner of my bandana again. And here I'm just finishing up the very last few slip stitches. And now I've reached my corner again on the bandana. And now I'm going to add single crochets all along the top of the bandana until I reach the other corner. I'm placing my very last single crochet here on the corner. And just like I did with the other corner, I'm going to chain 60 to create the second tie strap, turn my work, and slip stitch back down the chain. And to finish off this tutorial, I want to add a cute shell stitch pattern along the border of this bandana. Once again, I'll be working in each open gap along the edge. So right here into my very first stitch, I want to add one single crochet. And now working into the next chain space, I want to add 5 double crochet all into the same gap. Here's my second, into that same space for my third, same space for my fourth, and one more double crochet into that open chain space for my fifth. Looking down the edge of my row, I'm going to find my next chain space and add a single crochet. And as you can see, that creates my very first shell stitch. So after placing my one single crochet, I'm going to be looking at my next chain space, and once again I'm going to add 5 double crochet into this open gap. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and one more for 5. Finding my next chain space right here, I'm going to place one single crochet. And now I have another little shell. And I'm just going to continue this pattern all the way down until I reach my corner. And now here at my corner, I'll place one single crochet. And into my corner again, I'll be placing 6 double crochet into that center. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And into the tip here again, place one single crochet. After working that shell into my corner, I'm going to repeat the same process down this edge. And now our bandana has this feminine little touch to the border.